Okay, it is 10 o'clock a.m. It looks like we just broke under this trend line that I've had all the way since here. Let's see if it's gonna try to immediately get above it or if it's going to stay under it and perhaps downtrend. It might not be so bad. This almost looks like an inverse head and shoulders, a shoulder of the head, and then maybe even a shoulder right here, and goal will be for it to break past VWAP. I did have one trade with it, and it was a bit nerve-wracking, but I am trading small, and I need to remember that, even though I have like a $40 risk level, that's like worst case scenario. I'm in the setup and it doesn't work out. I'm not able to cut where I want to, and it keeps dropping, and there's a big panic, slippage, all that craziness, which is something that could happen with GTII. This one does have a bit of a delay when you place an order, but at the same time, I'm just trading at 15 shares. I did buy at 9.50 right here at $5, 15 shares. Why? Well, a little nerve-wracking, but it looked like it was trying to hold itself around here. I never traded it because I didn't like how choppy it was, and then it broke under the level, and it continued to downtrend. And I like how it broke under $5, and I've seen this happen before where it breaks a round number, a certain stock. It doesn't have to be this one in particular. A lot of them do it. Sometimes they break a very significant number, a round number, like here $5, and it downtrends a bit more, and then it catches itself, and then it regains itself above it. It's almost like, maybe somebody's in here in the 560s, and they just see it dropping and dropping. They're like, all right, oh, it just broke under $5. I have to get out. So that's when they get out, and that's, when it comes back because it just briefly broke under it, regained itself, and it uptrended. And I like how it had like a wick right here, and then it didn't have a wick right here, and then it started the trade in a new channel slightly higher than this bottom. And I did take that buy at 9.50 at $5, and it did work out immediately, and I did have a trend line as well, which also helped out right here, although I probably could have stuck to it more. I did sell my first piece. I did better. I didn't sell half of my position on the first uptrend or the first sell. I only sold a third at 9.51. I sold some at 5.25, which was right here, roughly around here. And then I sold some more at 5.39 and 9.52. This was my best sell right here at 5.39, and then I did sell five more shares at 9.53 at this 37 level, and then I sold the last two shares at 5.23, which was at 9.54, so right here. And maybe with these two last shares, I could have probably have stuck to this trend line and only have gotten out of it once it actually breaks below it. And at that point, I would have been able to maybe have sold the last piece a bit higher. But at the same time, if it breaks under the trend line, which at the time it did look like it here, it might have been kind of hard. It would have taken some time for it to have been executed. Maybe, it wasn't the worst call because it could have easily, with some slippage and then that delay it could have been something I would have sold for a loss. But it's essentially this is the idea, and yeah, it looks like it broke under this trend line right here and is going to trade a bit lower. It can still be an inverse head and shoulders. Again, a shoulder head, and now maybe you'll make like a shoulder here instead of this. I'll keep looking at GTII. I was also looking at, what is it? I was looking at INND. This one did not work out, but I was watching it for a break past 205 and then a break past 21 because it looked like it was trying to break a resistance level, as you can see over the past 20 days, and it just was not able to do it. Maybe you'll do it later, but I'm going to guess the volume is going to dry up and I might not be able to do it today if it ever does it. I'll make an update later. No interest with SYXX. That's all I have for right now. Okay, it is 10:43, and let's go over another trade with GTII, and this one did not work out. And I did actually size in more. I had now 30 shares compared to 15 because now that it's been longer since the market has opened, I thought worst case scenario, I'm in the setup, it's not working, and then I'm not able to cut where I want to, and we have slippage and a downtrend breaks the day low. I thought worst case scenario would be a sell at $4 flat, roughly around that. I just thought that would be worst case scenario. Then for me to have traded it right here with just 15 shares, thinking, it hasn't been that long since the market opened, and this thing could totally, just fail and downtrend, and continue to make a leg down and, take away a lot of days of gain. So that was a reason why I traded more here. And I did call the inverse head and shoulders here. It did work out, but it just happened a little too quickly. But in theory, maybe an entry at 522 when it did get to the 560s VWAP. It didn't get above it, but it definitely uptrended from that point here. And then I did have an interest here being the, in theory, inverse head and shoulder second higher low. So the shoulder head and then the shoulder and then the second higher low. I did think this was going to be the second higher low. It did end up doing it, but the way it got it was kind of weird, especially with this price action. These were actually real. This wick towards the upside and this bottom part right here, this wick is also real. So just kind of weird. I'm probably not that interested in trading this one as much anymore because the volume is starting to fade and it's just kind of weird the way it is. And it's not like at a very ideal price point anyway. It could try to break VWAP eventually at some point, but I do notice that that is the bottom, near the bottom of the other day, so that might be like a humongous resistance level. And I did buy 30 shares at 10.19. That was at 523. Right here at 10.19 at 523. So right here is when I got in. And I thought it was going to try to hold around the 520s, thinking that this was going to be the shoulder, but it ended up making a little bit of a leg down. I did get out the same minutes, actually at 5:15, which was right here. I got in and out the same minute in theory. Again, I thought it was going to play off of here, and then it just went a bit lower. Didn't like that, and I got out of the trade and ended up holding around this level and making a move, I guess, from the 515 level as high as the 540. So a lot weaker because it didn't get to VWAP like it did here and here, almost like a head and shoulders, shoulder, head, and then the shoulder here. So yeah, that's pretty much it for right now. That one didn't work out. I think I lost maybe $2 on that trade, even though I traded a lot larger because, I was very close between my entry and exits. That's all I have for right now. It is 12:23. I want to go over two setups that I did miss out on, but I did at least try. There was one point right here, I liked it. I just saw it a bit late. And then when I did place an order, I didn't get filled. Maybe I should have had like a higher limit and I would have been executed. But I like how it started to sell off right here. Then it started the downtrend. And a trend line could be drawn right here to right here. And I like how it started to break past the trend line. But then it started to aggressively downtrend and trying to get back under the trend line. And there was even a point where we had a wick right here. Very nice big volume. I did try to buy 1127 right here at $4 and I just was not able to get filled. I was too slow and a bit hesitant. I wish I was a part of this one, and this one did make a move to the 460, so that was like a 10% move. And then it did do a downtrend, and I didn't think that it was going to do the same thing where it breaks the trend line and then it's going to aggressively try to follow it and get under it again. Instead, it just kind of broke past it, and I didn't even place an order right here. I just hesitated too much. I think if I were to have been in this one, I would have likely have had the momentum to go ahead and try this setup again. This one was just a bit more nerve-wracking because, it could have easily have tried to follow it again, but normally it doesn't do it if it's like a high or low off of this one, for example. And now I don't really see much of a setup. Maybe it can try to make a move towards VWAP at some point, but I do want to go over these two setups. I could have been much more profitable today. And on that first trade, I should have had a lot more size, but at least I still took it. I'll make an update later as to what it does, but these were two very good setups that I could have traded, and I'm sure some people have traded it. Okay, it is 6:04 p.m. and I am here to call it off. Overall, I'm going to be up on a day just $2.33, I think, trading GTII twice, and I definitely did better than yesterday. Yesterday, I really screwed up and missed out on a lot of setups, and at least this time I did try. I did try right here, and this one did work out. And then I also had that other try later at 10:19, which was at this point right here, this one. And I didn't quite frankly get the very bottom of this one, but it did make a move towards VWAP. And this was also another one, but this one I think was a bit trickier to trade. And I did try to buy a few more times. So actually, no, just this one at 11.27. Unfortunately, I missed out on this one, and I hope that in the future, God willing, if I'm still around, when we get another one of these like GTII, I can be able to not just make $2, but make 200 or 2,000 or maybe even 20,000 if I'm trading much larger, because this is something that I've seen a lot of times with a whole bunch of stocks, and I've just had so much screen time just seeing these setups play out and again. And this one did get to VWAP. It also did another higher low after these two, which was a little bit trickier because it broke this uptrending trend line. But I like how it just barely broke under it and then caught itself, and it had just this little uptrend right here, and it did get to VWAP. So this was another setup right here. There were a few very nice setups, and I hope next time I get one of these, I can be able to trade with size. And God willing, that could be something super nice, super profitable. At least I did try again these two times right here, and then I did try here, but I have to get more aggressive, especially right now because I'm not even trading that much money. I'm not even trading a very large position size. I should have had also 30 shares right here with this first trade because that would have brought it to a $40 risk level, so I could have been more profitable today. That's pretty much it. I just hope that this can be a good experience, and then in the future, once again, I can be able to, God willing, be much more profitable and trade a lot larger. That's it for today. There wasn't really anything else. This one did uptrend in the morning, but that was pretty much it. The volume sold off. I had no interest in trying to be a simp and try to save SYXX and try to dip buy it for a longer period of time, even if it doesn't. That's all I have for today.